Alright, let me clear my throat. This goes without saying. If you've ever played GTA San Andreas, which I'm sure you have, at least once you must have been stopped in your tracks by those bizarre flickering lights, right there. These strange, flickering lights pop up out of nowhere, and usually just end up zipping across the night sky leaving white contrails, only to vanish into thin air soon after, and then reappear again elsewhere. Trying to follow these lights, if only to figure out what they are and where they go, has proven futile. Theories abound, but one thing is for certain: they are neither planes nor meteors, which by definition makes them unidentified flying objects, or UFO for short. The UFO has been one of the most memorable and permanent phenomena in GTA San Andreas, second only to the nature of those mysterious bubbles bursting out of CJ's ass whenever the homeboy goes diving. Just what are those? Why are they coming out of CJ's rear end? And today, I'm out here in the middle of the oh-so-mysterious desert of Bone County to kick off my search for evidence of extraterrestrial activity.
You've got to hit a line.
Oh, damn right. You've got to smash that line.
Yo! Why am I doing this? Ladies and gentlemen, right behind me is Little Probe Inn. Right there, see? Over there. Based on the real-life tavern called Little Ale Inn in Nevada, the Probe Inn has been the heart of all things UFO in GTA San Andreas. Conveniently located right next door to Area 69, which is a large military complex allegedly involved in classified UFO research, as well as the in-game counterpart of real-life Area 51, the Little Probe Inn is a great place to kick off my search for the truth. And today, I'm going to investigate aliens in GTA San Andreas. So let's go. I ain't got time to fuck around all day. Let's bounce. Right off the bat, this place feels homey enough. It's cozy, quiet, and relaxing. Couldn't ask for a better place to sip on a cold drink in the middle of a desert. Save the cute honey bunny serving up drinks for the occasional patron, there's never more than a couple more folks hanging out at the joint.
I love that outfit!
Oh, I'll be honest, this place is radiating some seriously messed up vibes. And there they are, the aliens, right there on the walls. See? Images of flying saucers. Keep in mind that this is 1992, right? Photoshop ain't a thing yet. And AI, well, AI is, still decades and decades down the road yet. So whatever is up with these, I'll be honest, they look legit. Now some of them look old enough to be from a time when I wasn't even a plan in my parents' heads. So yeah, definitely legit. But pictures alone, however credible, won't get me very far. I need something solid. And this right behind me looks like a staff-only kind of back room. Now this is where usually all the shady shit takes place. So I'm going to investigate. Let's slip right in.
Been to prison, huh?
Now that's what I'm talking about. This is a pretty neat setup. Alright, what do we have here? A pewter, looks like a shortwave radio, more pics, most of them are copies, we've seen those before. But more importantly, this map. Now here's the deal, this is a map of the beta version of the game, with, kind of like a few geographical differences that kind of stand out and, reinforce the point. But what's more exciting are these thumbtacks that actually look like, it doesn't take a genius to figure out. They definitely point at certain locations on the map, right? So we have not one, but several locations on a map that is allegedly tracking UFO sightings. So first, we need to identify each and every one of these locations. So first and foremost, we have this unmarked compound out in the desert right past the abandoned airstrip. I covered this area in my previous video, but I'll say it again here. If there's one place in all of San Andreas that has baffled me or anyone else all these years, it's here. To this day, nobody has been able to figure out what this place is all about. So this place being on the map, allegedly one that keeps track of UFO sightings, makes perfect sense. Among others are Area 69 nearby, which is your typical big military base undeniably keeping lots of shady stuff under lock and key. The Big Ear, which is a humongous satellite dish that looms over this entire area, this one checks out if you think about tracking UFOs or strange signals coming from space, right? There's also a vast area out in the wilderness of Whetstone, namely the Sasquatch Creek and the Shady Cabin. Now, both places are notorious for being Bigfoot hotspots. I've already been there in one of my previous videos to investigate the rumor of Bigfoot. However, my search fell flat on its face.
That's Bigfoot. I'm telling you. I mean, are you sure that it looks like a black spot?
Now, so far as aliens and UFO go in this game, I honestly don't know what's there to visit in this area other than rocks and trees, so... Another one is Blueberry Acres, which is a large farming setup in Flynn County. Now, this one is right out in the open next to a small town, so it makes no sense.
Now, not really sure what's up with that, unless aliens are, you know, they are into spying on rednecks and hillbillies and potatoes and stuff.
However, if the satellite dish and Area 69 are your run-of-the-mill conspiracy theory spots, the Easter bait chemicals out in the middle of nowhere Flynn County, right on the edges of San Fierro, is a different flavor of strange. It's big enough to stand out against the mountains nearby, and yet for all this setup, there is not a single soul to be seen around. No traffic ever comes through here, and that trailer park nearby, it looks like where the staff might be living, except it's eerily quiet and empty. Anyone would think right away it's been abandoned for a while.
But how is this place even running if there is no signs of activity whatsoever? I mean, like, where is everybody, eh?
And finally, there's this unused warehouse, for lack of a better term, right on the outskirts of Las Venturas, just north of Green Glass College, a short ways. Now, this one is not called anything in the game. There's no welcome sign, nothing ever happens on the premises, and no vehicles or NPC will ever spawn here. Does it feel bizarre? Yes, in a way. Then again, there's plenty of other warehouse-like structures all over San Andreas. So this one in particular being a UFO hotspot in the middle of a major urban area with traffic coming through 24/7? I don't know, honestly sounds like wishful thinking to me. If anything, the large warehouse compound in the middle of nowhere Flynn County would be a much better fit for shady UFO activity.
Hey, I'm talking to you, asshole!
So really, what this map gives us is literally just a hodgepodge of various different locations all over the state of San Andreas. And like, I must admit, while some of these make sense to be prime suspects for UFO activity, like think about the Desert Lab and maybe Area 69, the rest of them are just, I don't know, mysterious for the sake of being mysterious. They don't really add up in the grand scheme of things.
I mean, a warehouse? Really? A shit-nothing log cabin out in the middle of nowhere? Strange? Sure, maybe even eerie. But to tie them in with UFOs just out of nowhere? I don't know, unless you stretch it to really fit the narrative. So at this point, this map could easily be dismissed as a little in-game running joke, you know, a jab at alien tinfoil heads, if it wasn't for the copy of the same map, which can be found at one other prominent location. Man, would you look at this crib? It's spiffy.
Here's the deal. Torino is a government agent, so him casually dropping tidbits about, the government, messing with history, and history being a bunch of drivel, kinda really makes you think if everything we know about history is as true as we like to think. Does that make any sense?
It's amazing.
What's up now, Torino?
This history, it's all lies. It says Hitler killed himself and that we nuked Japan. And people believe this shit. Jesus.
So assuming, and I'm using this word very, very carefully, assuming this is a map of UFO activity and UFO hotspots, why would someone like Torino have a copy?
But hey, that doesn't necessarily mean that Torino is somehow involved in UFO research.
Torino is more about running drug rings and, getting up to other shady stuff. He never so much as mentions or even hints at aliens or UFO or ghosts or anything out of the ordinary. Not that he has to, but he doesn't. But what he does mention, in fact, quite a few times, is other government agencies operating in Bone County. In fact, across the whole state of San Andreas.
I got 5 guys watching me all the time. I got 2 in that hill, 1 over there, and 2 by satellite. 1 DEA, 1 FBI, a Russian, a Cuban double agent, and my paymasters, checks and balances. Nobody is watching anybody, watching nobody. Know what I mean?
So for all we know, this map could be simply his way of keeping track of either rival teams or perhaps even his own field agents out there doing their thing. Which is backed up by Barbara, one of CJ's girlfriends, saying that this desert is crawling with the CIA.
This whole desert is crawling with CIA.
Yeah, this is really interesting.
Note that she's a deputy sheriff, so that is some credibility right there. So even the furthest one out in Whetstone, all the way away from Bone County, seems to line up with Mike's network just fine. After all, didn't Mike have CJ fly a plane over Angel Pine to drop off supplies for one of his field agents? And that's pretty close to where this last thumbtack would be on the map. I can almost see Mike's field agent setting up shop at the Shady Cabin, for instance. Then what the hell is this map even doing in the Little Probe Inn? Now that is a really good question. Make no mistake, Mike's not working alone, we know that much, that is a fact. So what if a Little Probe Inn is actually a front for an undercover government operation gathering intelligence on the desert of Bone County? What if whoever runs the inn is also an undercover agent for the same agency Mike works for? Or even his direct subordinates, you never know. The way I see it, the only way the exact same map, marking the exact same set of locations, could be present in 2 completely unrelated places would be if both places were actually related. So if you really think about this place, the UFO Inn, actually checks all the boxes to be the perfect front for an undercover intelligence operation. It's right out in the open. It's crowded with drunk UFO enthusiasts and hillbillies. No one would ever think to look for government agents here. Never. So there goes that. After all these years, it turns out this map is not that mysterious. It's mysterious for the sake of being mysterious, but there's not a whole lot going on. There's not a whole lot to this map. I hate to drop this one last bomb, fellas, but even Rockstar Games had told, UFO hunters to just move on with their lives when asked about this map. So, that's it.
But no, that does not mean the UFO in GTA San Andreas is entirely made up. Here's the deal, unlike other urban legends like Bigfoot and Pigsy, which are entirely fan-made and exist only as mods, the UFOs are quite real and rooted deeply within the game. I didn't say aliens, mind you, as in the little green man. I said UFO. Those strange shooting stars, they are right there, no doubt about that. They are even mentioned on an in-game radio show. That's not a conspiracy theory born out of boredom. That is a tangible part of the game.
There's really only so many things these shooting stars could really be. So we have what? A commercial jet, right? There's that. And then a satellite, that's 2 down. Maybe like a shooting star or some celestial object like a meteor or whatever, that's 3. And last but not least, yes, an unidentified
flying object, aka a UFO.
And here's where things get a little interesting. Play cat and mouse with these all you want, not even a military jet fighter could be fast enough to overtake one of these bad boys. Best you can do is just get close enough to realize it's a pulsating light the size of a, kid. So there goes the commercial jet theory, right out the window. Could be a meteor, right? Well, this one falls apart just as quickly for two simple reasons. First of all, meteors don't flicker like that at all. Those are lights blinking at set intervals, not an out-of-space object that's on fire from entering the Earth's atmosphere. That, and these always travel straight across the sky, horizontally, much like an aircraft would, and even change their trajectory abruptly, out of nowhere. Mind you, that's not a chunk of space rock taking a nosedive towards Earth. That is something flying, maintaining altitude, and changing direction. Then, there is the satellite theory, which sounds good enough to me, but for one fact, satellites would be way higher than whatever that thing is. Like I said, flying a Hydra, aka, a jet fighter, is a good way to get close enough to see these are flying at altitude achievable by in-game aircraft, not out in low Earth orbit. All that being said, whatever they are, an unidentified flying object remains the only term that fits their elusive nature. Not even digging into the game's files has been able to put a definitive full stop to this question. Their in-game name is simply Corona Star, which is really up to anyone's interpretation. It sure as hell makes no hint at it being a man-made aircraft or a commercial jet. Aliens are also directly mentioned by some pedestrians, namely the infamous trenchcoat guy. Now this fella only shows up in Bone County, often wandering aimlessly much like the rest of the NPCs. What makes him so special is his odd and often unhinged behavior. This gentleman's lines suggest he's been abducted by aliens. In fact, he's so wound up that even just stalking him for a while is enough to flip his lid.
Beasts! Have you ever seen one of them? It disgusts me. Bye now. Live long and coagulate. Gotta keep moving.
Like I said, following him long enough will make him lash out, calling CJ an alien and, yelling other extraterrestrial nonsense.
Oh! I'm watching you, man. Green-blooded abomination! Don't touch me! You're not probing me again!
And now get this, this guy calling CJ out on being an alien in disguise or whatever is straight up BS. We know CJ's not an alien. So that's one reason not to take this guy too seriously, simply because he's full of shit right then and there. He'll call a random dude an alien just like that, out of nowhere, so how are we supposed to believe the rest of his stuff? If anything, he's just a quirky dude, possibly mentally unhinged, and from Rockstar's point of view, he's likely meant to make fun of your stereotypical middle-aged male, so wrapped up in conspiracy theories that at this point he's just plain nuts.
Damn, where is this fool?
And yes, there's one other outstanding piece of evidence, one that's hard to ignore. The strange glowing gooey stuff encased in what could only be described as an alien-crafted vial. The truth wants you to steal it while it's being shipped across the state by the military. Now that's solid enough for a strong case to be made that aliens are real in GTA San Andreas. Well, yeah, but it's not that simple. Truth be told, after all these years we still don't know what that even is exactly. And while its in-game name suggests alien origin, it's important to remember that aliens can also mean foreign, as in unknown. From CJ's perspective, it is something alien. Foreign, unknown. Something he couldn't be paid to describe, much less explain. But other than its name, it could just as easily be a prototype of some new kind of fuel being secretly developed by the military. It could be an antidote to some sort of biological weapon, or even the weapon itself. It could be something entirely unrelated, not necessarily extraterrestrial in its nature. Following this mission, the Truth will later call into one of the radio shows to brag about holding aliens in his hands, which is a nod towards the exact same green goo we handed him earlier. But I wouldn't take the Truth too seriously on this one either, because, well, let's be honest, he's a pothead in his late 50s to early 60s, and he likes talking about polar bears shitting in tents.
Land on the train, kill the guards, get in and steal the stuff.
Oh, yeah? What stuff?
I don't know yet.
Oh, you don't know yet.
But alright, sure, let's give it the benefit of doubt for a second and say aliens are real in the 3D universe, and they exist in the world of San Andreas. And the green goo is proof of that. While aliens being real from the lore point of view and aliens being real as a gameplay element are two entirely different things, you gotta keep that in mind. Don't get them mixed up, right? For instance, we know Vice City exists in the same universe as GTA San Andreas, but that doesn't mean Vice City is an actual physical part of the universe, because it's not. You cannot visit this game in San Andreas. Same goes for aliens. Aliens in GTA mirror the real-life phenomena the exact same way it is in real life. Think about it. For all the fuss around aliens and UFOs in real life, we still have no definitive evidence of their existence. Foggy pictures, pixelated vids from a time when cameras were just getting traction, and a bunch of eyewitnesses. That's all we have. And that's just it. So the way aliens are shown in GTA San Andreas is just how they are in real life. Lots of fuss, lots of talk, lots of murky evidence, yet nothing tangible to prop up the claim. It's ingenious. Rockstar gave millions of players a vast map full of clues and hints, and kept them busy chasing ghosts. They made exploration and hunting for evidence fun. It's great, really. So are the UFOs real in San Andreas? Yep, there they are, right there. What about aliens? Likely yes, but not in the direct reach out and touch me way. More like a rumor or something that exists as part of the universe, but not part of the gameplay, you know what I'm saying? Last but not least, if aliens were a real thing in GTA San Andreas, they would have been discovered already. Look at GTA 5, it's got aliens, and all it took was, a few years to find irrefutable evidence of them. GTA San Andreas, on the other hand, has been out for 2 decades now, and we still have got nothing.